Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My guest tonight is Olivia Cuartero-Briggs. Did I pronounce that right?
You pronounced it perfectly, and you're like the only person who ever has. So congratulations to you. That was
Awesome,
masterful.
because I meant to ask first and then forgot. So I'm really, really glad that I didn't fuck it up because that would have been embarrassing to say it and then ask and find out that no, it's actually Cuoterio,
Yeah,
which
that
is
would
never
be
what it
that would be
is, but
strange. But no, that's what everyone
but
else says.
certainly how it's probably been pronounced for you.
Yeah, and nope, 100%. You'd be amazed at the interpretive pronunciations of that name. But
No, because I didn't think Eggleston was a hard name to pronounce until I got to school. And
yeah,
I've had
right.
it
It could be a
pronounced
nightmare.
so many different ways in my life, it's not even funny.
Well, I mean, but at least they're probably like cute mispronunciations, right? And not just like complete name butchering. You kind of have like a cute last name. Like no one will miss like the egg
Big.
part of it, right?
I don't no, I've been called Eagleston.
Oh, really?
I don't know how they
That's
get
like
Eagle.
people
I'm,
are
I'm
like,
sitting
it
there going,
couldn't be
Eagle
egg.
has an A.
Right. I feel like that's like when someone's last name is like clearly like Wiener, but no one wants to say Wiener. It's like it couldn't be egg,
Right.
right? Like let's try to
Gotta be
suppress
Weiner.
egg. Yeah, of
Totally
course.
Anthony Weiner.
It's never actually Weiner. Come on. You're
Totally
all wieners.
Anthony
We know
Weiner until he sent the dick pics and then it became Wiener.
it. Yeah, he had a good thing going. He screwed it up for himself.
I mean, sometimes scandals just like couldn't be written better.
I know.
I
There's
mean,
some things that
seriously,
happen in life that you can't, and it's
I
a
mean,
shame that you can't write them
if
because
you
otherwise I
turned
would.
that in as part of a TV script, would it have gotten by? No, this is
No.
too on the nose. You can't have the guy
100%.
with the sex scandal be Anthony Weiner.
Hmm. No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Unless it's like a really, really dorky comedy, and even then you might still get called out for it. So,
No, no, they go. You got to at least make it Anthony Phallus or some word that not every third grader knows.
phallus. I would hope that third graders would know phallus. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe that was just third graders in my private school, my elitist private school that I went to, that I
Yeah, I
joke about a
mean,
lot
like
back home
I
connecting
probably
with
knew it in third
friends.
grade. Like, cause as soon as if you're the smart kid, you learn the swear words as not swear words so that you can come back at them and know that you're
Right.
you're
Like you
saying,
know the secret
but
lingo.
they don't even tell on you because they don't know what it means.
Or they're just kind of so impressed by the fact that you said it, or maybe they think you said it by accident.
Oh,
That's
come on.
definitely
A
happened.
third grader impressed by a word that they don't recognize?
Oh, I thought no, like a teacher basically, or
Oh, no.
somebody like hearing a kid say that and being like they couldn't possibly know what that means. Like it has to be an accident. But meanwhile, like you know the
Right.
secret.
My wife's favorite thing to do with her kids when they start getting into the crazy stuff is just to use the words wrong.
Confuse them? That's
No,
brilliant.
no,
I wish I could
well,
do that.
no. With like when they're using the whatever the new crazy slang is, and it's getting annoying. She'll just
Oh, yes. That's brilliant. Just annoy them with their own annoyances.
right.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have to start doing that. I'm just like right now I'm just like I'm offended by some of the slang. Like my daughter told me that there's a new slang for losing one's virginity, which again,
Uh-oh.
yeah, cracked.
Cracked.
I was like, seriously? That's like this. It's just like offensive on so many levels. Like, couldn't it be something like cute or nice? Like, I expect so much more from your generation than
So the
crack.
virginity is an egg now?
Yes, I guess, or like a popper, or like I don't like a some sort of firecracker or something, or yeah, something to be broken. I
Right.
was like, this is so upsetting. But yeah, that was like. it's just so ridiculous to me. And then there's a
Well,
bunch of stuff that she's just using incorrectly. It's like slang that our generation actually like originated, and now they're just taking it and like using these words wrong. Like
well, I
preppy.
mean that's
Preppy now
them
no
doing to
longer
us.
means like you look like you went to a preparatory school.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't handle what you're trying to do to my slang. I know what a prep is. You don't know. But mom, everyone's using it. No, you're all wrong. Everyone's wrong. I don't care. End of conversation.
You know that like the best that sociologists could come up with for 6, 7, and they're actually when I bounce this off of my kids, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Is that it was literally something that they came up with so that we wouldn't understand.
Okay, and that's why it like literally makes no sense and like yeah.
Well,
Okay.
and because it will come up naturally, regularly, like
Okay.
when you're counting jumping jacks, 5, 6, 7, everybody goes nuts. And because
Huh.
it's like completely offline. And that's like the part that it took adults the longest to figure out is for all we were like being upset about this. 6, 7 is like an actual like interpersonal connection
Right.
thing. Nobody's tweeting 6, 7. They shout out six. It's a call and response thing. It's
But you know what? They're not wrong though. That is kind of brilliant. I mean, I saw something online recently that like the most incredible thing that our generation ever did was to successfully spread the rumor like worldwide that Marilyn Manson had his bottom ribs removed so he could suck his own dick without the internet. And I actually think that that is a tremendous accomplishment for us. So, yeah. So no. You know what? I
did
think
we
you just
actually manage to get it worldwide before the internet? Because like the
yeah.
internet started right in the like in
No, no,
Manson
no,
and
no,
the
no, no,
internet
no.
kind of started together.
I see your point, but like I don't think that
I
the
mean,
internet
definitely
was
without
possible.
social media.
There was like we were still doing like AOL dial-up.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I,
Yeah,
I
no.
bet you, I bet you part of the spread was through AIM message rooms.
Tad, don't you ruin this for me.
It's still
Don't do it.
impressive,
Very. It's very impressive. We did it without the
even though
internet,
Marilyn
okay?
Manson is not. He's kind of a dick.
Mm. I've never met the dude.
I
Not
haven't
say.
either, but even before, I mean, my son went through a phase, and he would like tell me these stories. And this is, I mean, recently it's come out that he's also like a predator, and like my son went, oh no, I can't handle that. Um,
Like you didn't see that one coming
that's
10,000 miles
exactly what
away.
I
The guy
said.
like
That's exactly what I said.
actively looks like a vampire. He like a rapey, scary vampire. And we're
Right.
that's yeah. Wow,
But
shocker.
most surprising thing ever. Yeah. But the one that got me, like, apparently he had, and like my son told me this story expecting me to think it was cool, and then showed me the article. I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, I would have had him arrested." He had some reporter came to his room to interview him, and he put a gun to her head as she walked through the door. And apparently it turned out to be a fake or whatnot, but like he was deliberately scaring her to start, as part of his I'm cool.
Dude.
And it's like,
Yeah.
no, 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 not cool. Not cool.
I mean, this had to be like a while ago, right? That sounds
Yeah.
like some early aughts nonsense right there. Yeah, no, we've certainly seen some interesting times in our lifetime. I'm glad like there's a lot about like kind of where we are right now. Obviously, politically, that's a complete mess, but I do feel like we maybe have moved past um, dehumanizing people to the point where we, try to elicit fear for our own like ridiculous enjoyment as
No,
celebrities
now
anyway.
now we just do it if you're protesting things that we don't like.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, you have to have something.
I mean,
But
I had Ryan Bussey on the show. Ryan is a now he's a politician in Montana, but before when I had him on the show, he was the issues director for Giffords, the gun safety group that Gabby Giffords started after she got
right.
shot. Um, and before that, he was a gun executive. And one of the reasons that he left the gun industry is he was at a Black Lives Matter rally with his kids who wanted to go out because they believed in it, where they got heckled by a guy holding an AR-15. And he's
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, no, this is not okay. Something has gone horribly. He's like, I'm a gun guy, but this is not okay.
Good for him, man. I feel like you don't hear enough um from folks like that and people, kind of making the switch and
Yeah. No, I'll plug his book again. He wrote a book called Gunfight where he talked about the shift in the industry from the inside. And I think at this
that
point
actually
he's even
sounds fascinating.
I think at this point he's even more wide-eyed about it than he was then, because then I think he was still in denial of some of the profit motive side.
Okay.
And I'm pretty certain his company, it wasn't his company didn't get into this stuff because he was involved in a company that like made almost artisanal guns, if that makes sense. They were like really high quality rifles for hunting.
Okay, sure.
So like I mean if you're talking art supplies, it would be like the equivalent of buying the $100 set of colored pencils rather than the Crayolas.
Sure. Or like the cheese with the name you can't pronounce and
Right, right.
yeah, the $200 bottle of wine with your gun. You got the whole artisanal collection right there.
Yeah,
You're
the, the,
right
the,
next
the
to your sourdough
Rolexes of
starter.
guns. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But they still went to shows and whatnot, so we got to watch the industry change
Right.
at shows. Um, yeah, it was a fascinating read. I was so happy that he was willing to like. It's one of the handful of times I reached out to a totally non-comic guy, though
Right.
ironically, like 6 months later, I saw him in a comic.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a comic, and why do I always forget the freaking name of it? There's a comic about like combating disinformation, and it used him for one of the.
Oh, that's very
He didn't
cool.
even know about it until I sent it to him. It's
That's
nuts.
awesome. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will
Very
come up
cool.
with the name before the end of the show because I dug it up earlier today. Um, but anyway, while we're doing that, tell me about Kill Train because that's the most recent one. I read it, I loved it, even
Oh,
though
yay.
as I told you, I was afraid of it. It's the type of book that can go either way with me. I wouldn't have been able to handle it if it was a movie. So I'm glad that it was a comic.
Oh, well, hopefully it will be a movie at some point or a TV show or
I don't
something.
promise to watch it.
But it's
I
camp.
mean,
It's
I'm
like,
more likely because I feel like we're friends, but and if I overstep my boundaries there, I apologize. But
oh no, please, no. Honesty's great. Listen, this extreme gore isn't for everyone,
no,
but
I
I
meant in
get
calling
the
you a
camp
friend.
factor.
I,
Oh,
I, I don't know if we've gotten that far yet.
okay, have we had the friend conversation? Oh dear. No, please, no, not at all, not at all. But yeah, no. So, Kill Train. Was actually inspired by a dream that I had in my 20s. But it's about a not so distant future in which to control the population explosion, New York City institutes this kill train program. So one out of every 10,000 trains is chosen at random, and everyone is slaughtered by the end of the line. And in this world, you have the struggling single mom who's actively having a nervous breakdown and decides that she's not going down without a fight. So yeah, so that's the premise of the book.
What
And
was that part of your dream in your 20s, or did
no.
that come after
So
children?
that well, yes, after children, but also it's interesting because I had sold Mad Cave on the initial concept for the book, which was, these subway trains basically being used yeah, for human extermination to control the population explosion. But I'm always working on like 10, 15 different projects at once, which is insane. I'm trying not to do that anymore.
Really
Uh,
sounds typical of most writers that I know, particularly the
well,
ones that work in multiple mediums.
yeah, it's like it's a big, huge juggling act. But like we'll talk about later. There's like certain things that end up like happening in the industry, which like point you in other directions and kind of tell you what
Absolutely. I
kind of
will
do.
say for the record, and I've said it multiple times on this show, the solution to having artists and writers who both are prolific and don't go insane is pay them well enough to eat and cover their health care.
Yeah, well, comics doesn't do that,
No, it
but
doesn't.
yeah. So
That's my
just
point.
for starters,
That
but yeah,
that's
I
why
know.
you
So
have to be working on six different projects at once.
right. I mean, and that's another reason why like we need film and TV to come back for like a host of reasons, but that's one of them. But so yeah, so I sold them on that initial concept, but then, when I was like doing my whole juggling act and it came time to actually write the outline, I was in a really shitty place. And I was kind of furious about a lot of things. And I thought, I could just create.
In this world today,
It wasn't, listen, I'm not one of those people that gets furious about the state of the world. I was more furious just about the state of like my life and the place that I had found myself and what
I
I
mean,
was
they do play
doing.
off of each other sometimes, Olivia.
It's true. Like there were things that were happening in the industry also. Like I mean the entertainment industry is it's not easy for anyone. It's really not easy for women. And I had
I
told
believe
myself
that 10 times over.
I had told myself my whole life growing up, because I grew up in New York City, and I think during the 90s there was very much this sentiment from like, women in my mother's generation of like, no, like guys, we took care of everything for you, okay? Like you're solid. You have nothing to worry about. There's
A-
no glass ceiling
And then
anymore.
they
We
elected
busted through
Reagan.
it. And then what?
And then they elected Reagan.
Oh, well, this was, I mean, after Reagan, right?
No,
This
no,
was
but
like,
what I mean is they took care of everything and then they elected Reagan and it took some time, but that's when the ball started rolling downhill again to get us where we are now.
well, listen, I mean, it's so hard to say because I don't know that it necessarily matters who is in office when it comes to things like this. It's just that progress is really
No,
slow.
it's an easy way to delineate time periods.
Yes, and it's an easy way to stagnate too. Like I'm not going to
Oh
say that
yeah.
like, like certain political parties don't make it like enormously harder to actually like see gains when it comes to like dumb things like equal pay. But the truth of the matter is that, whether or not you had someone left or right in office, like there was still things are just harder for women. There's certain
They
conceptions
are.
of like what they can and cannot do. And there's also, the fact that the the world is still very much designed for men in everything from like the products that you use to clean your teeth with and the way that city planning works like and just the design of like public transportation systems like there's it's bizarre when you actually start looking into it like how little women are considered in any of this. Sorry if you can hear the sirens. That's just my neighborhood. And I
No,
live on like a
I
tiny
can't
street.
actually.
Okay, that's
Uh,
great. Because like they're here. Okay, now they're leaving. Great. Sometimes they get stuck in my street, which is quite small, and it's awesome. But
I
like
imagine.
I was always told that like, we could do whatever we wanted and it wasn't an issue anymore. And so I didn't look for it. Like it really was not until I was in graduate school and I had a pretty fucking blatantly chauvinistic professor that took me forever to identify that I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like there are people out here who just really do not like outspoken women. And and then in the entertainment industry, like I feel like it's not like that, like dudes are like, oh, like screw that chick. We don't want to work with her. Like she's gonna cry all the time. Like I don't actually think it's that blatant. I think they're just like, hey, like I have like my group of dude friends who I'm more comfortable with. And so, because I'm doing the kind of work that I'm doing, which requires me to be vulnerable and be an artist and a writer, like I would rather surround myself with like dudes that I know are like cool with me like that. Like I think it's like it's kind of innocent in some ways. But I was having trouble getting work.
I'll give them two parts innocent to go with one part never had to like learn how to act properly.
Listen, there's definitely some of that too. But also like I'm also someone who can like very safely say that men gave me my start. Like men who were above me in the industry were like the first people to like put their hand out and give me a job. So like it can work both ways. But it felt like I was feeling this discrepancy. I was also feeling like as like a woman with children, that there were like you're perceived differently. Your energies have to go in certain places. And like if you're that kid's dad, like you kind of don't. Like the expectation is not the same. I was feeling
Like,
roughed up by
I mean,
that.
as a as the weekend dad myself, when my kids were younger, weekends and 2 nights a week, which had so many people telling me, "Oh, you're amazing," and I'm sitting there going, "Wait a minute,
Yeah,
I'm amazing because I see my kids 3 times a week."
right. No, but
Um,
it's true. You are. Wow. Like you
oh,
didn't run out on those kids. Like, let's give you a prize.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Meanwhile,
I mean, there where I was going is I remember uh, Michael Chabon has a city it's collection of essays called "Manhood for Amateurs." And the very first one talks about being at the grocery store with one of his kids when they were young, and they start screaming. So he tears open the box of Cheerios, like in the store before it's been paid for, to give them Cheerios for them to be quiet. And an old lady leans over and goes, "You're such a good dad." And he's just thinking, if it had been my wife, she would have been a terrible mother because they were screaming. She would have been a terrible mother because she bribed them to be quiet. He's just going through all of the ways that even the things that he was being praised, that not only was it like this incredibly low bar for being a great dad, but that half the things that he was being praised for, if his wife had done them, she would have been looked down upon.
and
And I'm like,
it's funny. I don't think that is necessarily even like limited to men in parental roles. I think it's also
no,
like any time that like men feel bad or have their feelings hurt, I think that women overreact, but when with men it's like, oh, that poor guy. And I've experienced that firsthand so many times. But again, listen,
I apologize for my gender, Olivia. I
no,
don't
but
even
I get
actually
like
totally claim it as my gender anymore. As soon as I realized that you didn't have to, I went, there's no part about what people generally consider men that I don't think I'm a woman, so I don't know what I am. But
no, listen, you're a human being, and there's nothing inherently wrong with being male. It's just that we have
really
taken
weird
so
standards.
much time to ascribe certain values and attributes to people that really don't have them. Like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that men and women are the same. Like, I'm on hormone replacement. We are not the same. Like, my chemical cocktail is completely different, but my chemical cocktail is also completely different from other women, even other women my age, which we are also
Right.
finding out now that we actually know that perimenopause is a thing. And don't even get me started on that. We should
Oh,
have figured this out
I
forever
have
ago.
that conversation
Um,
with my wife a lot. So
yeah, this is
I mean,
like
if you need to, let it out.
no, like I said, like I got the patch. Like I'm figuring it out.
She did
But
too.
I will say that, like, we spend a lot of time talking in generalizations about one another when we're all very, very specific beings, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad that we, decided at any point in time that there was any like gender race combo that we could point at and say you're the problem. I don't think that that's accurate, but I do think that we have to sometimes look at, like I did when I was embarking on writing Kill Train, that there are certain groups of us that are suffering dumb things disproportionately, not because we don't work hard or because we're not talented, but just because we present a certain way to the world. But I was very fearful because when I constructed this whole outline, I was like, it was crazy. I was like really, really jet lagged, and I was in Europe, and I was like exhausted, and I just could not stop writing this outline. And I sent it into Mad Cave, and I had like this awful feeling in my gut that like they're gonna come back to me and say no one's gonna care about a story about like a middle-aged woman having a nervous breakdown. And actually, they didn't have a single note, and it got
Yeah,
greenlit right
I was
away.
about to say, Olivia, have you been reading comics for the last 20 years? Comics is
I
one of the
mean,
few
yes, things
places
have
where we care
changed, but
about that.
well, I mean, and I'm very grateful. I loved writing Kill Train, and I love writing Kill Train Volume 2, which I think I told you about.
Yeah.
But there is an update there because, for those of you in the comics world, I'm sure that like, well, I mean, now probably the
It's
news about
old
Mad
news
Cave
now
has
because
been,
Marvel
oh,
just
Marvel,
had all of
exactly.
its news.
Yeah, so Mad Cave had a bunch of layoffs and they canceled a bunch of books, and Kill Train Volume 2 was one of them. As well as another book that I had with them called Death Cast. But they also happened to lay off my editor, who I've been
Editor.
working with for years on Kill Train Volume 2. So I actually, the day that he got laid off, I wrote him and I was like, James, you want to do Kill Train Volume 2 as a Kickstarter? And he's like, yes, I'm down. And we're
Oh,
meeting
well,
on Thursday to
then you're
hammer
going to
out
have to
the
come back because
yeah, no,
I love
there's no
supporting
way I'm not going to
Kickstarters.
do that book. Like we
Yeah, yeah.
outlined it, it's beautiful. Like we worked on it together,
Well,
and
and that's I mean that's one of the beautiful things about Kickstarter because I mean like uh, we had Kyle Starks on right after he wound up doing the third volume of Where Monsters Lie through Kickstarter because the Dark Horse said the first two volumes didn't sell well enough. We
right.
don't want to publish a third. They were publishing other stuff from him, but they wouldn't publish this one that he wanted to do. So he's
I
like,
know,
well,
yeah, it's a similar
we're not.
situation, but
I mean, I thought it was so funny because, like, literally, while I was talking to him, we were talking about two books. We were talking about this Kickstarter for this book that the first two volumes had come out from Dark Horse, and we're talking about another book at Dark Horse by him with the same artist. So, like, they totally wanted to continue working with the writer and artist team, just like give us something else.
yeah, no, and that happens all the time, and I was just talking with some Mad Cave folks today, and like, my reps are like pretty pissed.
Right.
Their feeling is like you shouldn't sign contracts if you can't honor them. But like I get it. Like listen, the business shifts and changes, and like you have to do what you have to do to keep your company alive. And I take
Are
none
are are
of it
are
personally.
your reps more TV movie side or are they
I
comic
have
side?
reps across the board. So I have
Okay.
an agent in the traditional publishing space. I have managers in film and TV and agents in film and TV, and I have a lawyer. Like I,
No, I
I
was just
am doling
because
out a solid 25%. It's crazy.
because there are not enough like comic space reps. So sometimes
Yeah, they're
the
either like
reps, the people,
entertainment or publishing. Yeah.
right, they don't understand the comics industry as well. Like if they're giving you the rights to go make a Kickstarter, they're doing so much better than a lot of comics companies do when they decide not to make a book.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's like I have to get the letter of rights reversal, but they're not going to try and hold on to the rights. That's
Right,
not Mad Cave's really, really good like that.
right,
If it's creator owned, then the creator owns the copyright. They're
right,
very, very decent that way.
right.
So, but yeah, again, like
And
it's
like
zero hard feelings. It's
I've
just
read
the
books
way that
from
it is.
you at publishers that weren't, you know.
Yes, you have. I don't care about talking about that either.
No, no, but like, I mean, we'll
I'll
say it.
talk
Like,
about all of it.
I read Mary Shelley Monster Hunter today, and it clearly was setting up for another volume that I bet you we never get to see.
Well, interestingly, the second
Or are you
volume
gonna?
of that ended up being
Yeah.
Bram Stoker Monster Hunter, which
Oh,
was it, and it was a totally different story. And there was like a date that it was supposed to come out and everything, and then of course, Aftershock went bankrupt, and
right.
so yeah, that. But I don't know if that book will ever see the light of day. I haven't. They're out of bankruptcy now, but yeah, that's like, I don't try and check in. I'm just like,
No, I don't blame you.
whatever you guys want to do when you want to do it.
Right.
That's a different story. I mean, I think there's like what I love about the comic book industry is that like 99, oh, that cat's so cute. 99% of the people in it, like they're just good people that want to tell good stories
Oh
because
yeah.
like let's face it, like no one is making a crap ton of money doing any of this. The other good thing about a Kickstarter though is that I will make more money on my own book doing a
Yeah.
Kickstarter than I would with a publisher. But then you also have to do more work. But it is what it is. And I'm so glad that James Emmett, it's who edited the first book, is we're going to do the Kickstarter together. And he's done a Kickstarter before. I have not, so I'm extremely grateful.
Well,
But
and that there, I'm going to be talking to David Hyde of Superfan Productions, I think later this week,
I
and
know David.
they've kind of slipped into that place where comics people don't do a lot of publicity. Comics people don't always know how to run Kickstarters, and I don't know everything that Superfan Productions does, but it seems to be publicity and Kickstarters.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. I should contact David. No, he's
Yeah.
lovely. I had a great time working with him. He worked with Oni Press and
Yep.
helped a
They
lot
still do.
with Jill and the Killers,
Yeah.
getting that book out there. And he did a phenomenal job. Like he would have me like write all these essays and then he would get them published in places. And yeah, like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write a little note to myself.
Yeah.
Gotta reach out to David Hyde. Yeah, he's a good one.
Well, and speaking of Jill and the Killers, skateboards in my hand. Um,
Oh
why don't you give us the Jill and the Killers pitch? I talked about it a
yeah. Yeah,
lot
so
like 2 years ago when it was coming out, but it's been a while
it has been a
for
while,
the
but
listeners of
interestingly,
22 panels. Hi,
I'm
Mom.
gonna do
Hi, Britt. Hi, Adam. Those are our listeners. We might have a couple more.
oh, we have some live folks. Yeah, it's interesting
Oh, no,
because
no, they're not live. They're just the people that I know listen.
oh, okay.
I'm a small
Oh,
enough
that's
podcast
sweet.
that I know my listeners by name. Half of them are related.
Oh, that's so cute. Well, actually, are you going to ALA? Are you going to be there?
Uh, I don't have I won't be inside as of now because it's really expensive.
Is it?
Uh, yeah, it's like $300, but it's because they give away so many things.
Okay. Huh.
So
Well,
like if I
I'll
was
be
a
there if we're
librarian, my school would pay for it.
right.
Um, if you need a
I
plus
see.
one, I'll carry stuff for you.
Well, yeah, I'll let you know. I'm not,
But
I
otherwise, I'll
probably
come
have
down
an
and buy you dinner.
extra. I'll probably have an extra badge when I'm there. But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a signing actually of Jill and the Killers because I just reconnected with Hunter because I need more copies of the book I sold out in last time I was in Chicago.
Okay.
And so they're gonna have me do a signing and they invited me out to like a lovely dinner with them. And so I was like, oh, I haven't like connected with the Oni Press folks in a while. But yeah,
Are
so
they having you do a signing just at ALA, or are they
yeah.
having you sign any? Okay, because I'm connected with a shop in the area. We'd have you out if you got time.
We can try and figure that out. I don't the ALA conference, it's long. It's like five
Yeah.
days. I'm not gonna make it for Thursday, but I'll be there by Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll
Well,
contact them a
we'll
little bit
trade
then.
some emails. We'll figure it out. And if nothing
Sounds
else,
good.
I'll come down and buy coffee, dinner, breakfast, lunch. We should sit down and
Yeah, we should. It'll be fun.
chat.
But yeah, so Jill and the
Because I
Killers.
won't be working during the summer. That's the greatest thing about being a teacher.
Oh, trust me, my dad was a teacher. I know all about it.
Ah.
But yeah, so Jill
The
and
the
the
worst
Killers
part
is
about
about.
it being a teacher is almost everything else except for the feeling of accomplishment.
Oh, don't say that. I'm
No,
going
no,
to be
no.
teaching, but at the
I,
university level in the fall.
Olivia, I love teaching. The feeling of accomplishment actually like outweighs the everything
All of the
else. But
nonsense.
but
Yeah.
when you start explaining like what it is teachers do to people who don't have that passion to teach, they sit there going, "Oh my God, what?" That's the only time they realize that you're underpaid. That they don't think you're underpaid when they think about your summers off. They're like, "Oh, of course you're paid that way. Look at all the time off you've got." And then you start talking about kids and having 30 of them at once and Skibbity Toilet and 6'7".
Right. Yep. Well, yeah, you're really getting hammered. I'm going to be teaching at the university level in the fall. So
Not
it'll be,
always better. I mean, it depends
well,
on
the
like the
pay is
punishment can be
certainly
big.
not. What they pay adjuncts is like, it's
Oh yeah,
actually
adjunct
criminal.
pay. I had a friend who actually managed to unionize the adjuncts at a community college. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Practically
fantastic.
doubled their pay overnight.
Honestly, you could double what I'm getting paid and it still wouldn't pay the rent.
Oh, yeah, no. He still had to teach at two different junior colleges as an
Right.
adjunct
Well, but again, this is
to
not,
pay his
you know,
half of the rent with his fiance, who taught at one junior college and worked at a bookstore.
ay, ay, ay. Yeah, that's like it's actually criminal. But no, Jill and the Killers is about a group of teenage girls in this really creepy Route 66 town called Seligman, Arizona, which actually is a real town. And they get what they think is a murder mystery game box, and it ends up being clues to an actual double homicide in their town that might be connected to the disappearance of Jill's mom. And that one was it's I love looking back at that.
That was my introduction to you,
Oh yeah?
and I loved it. I loved
Yeah,
it, and
it's
then I
so
was scared off by
sweet and
your
fun.
website, so I never managed to email you.
So what was scary about my website?
You're professional and work in TV too, so I assumed that like, oh, the comic guy isn't gonna get anywhere.
Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, no, like that's so interesting that you would perceive it that way. No,
Well,
like
also
so many TV
it
writers
was
are very like
earlier in the
normal folks.
podcast. I didn't have my confidence yet.
Oh yeah, no, you just got to reach out. Like, and it's funny. I think I had the same view before I like wrote in film and TV that like TV writers were whatever I thought they were. And then my first job was on Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, and I remember like the whole team of writers like walking towards me, and it was like they were in slow motion until I got close enough, and I was like, oh, this is like a pack of nerds,
Yeah.
lovely nerds, but yeah, just
No,
a
no,
pack
no.
of nerds.
I've become very good friends with Chris Cantwell. Like that, I've been excited the last 2 weeks because Devil and Silver finally came out after the 8 months he spent grueling over making it, and then the year plus that it sat around waiting for release.
Right. Yeah, but no,
And
we're all
now
very
television
accessible.
writers are a little less demystified to me, though I'd probably still have trouble speaking to Aaron Sorkin.
Well, I think everyone has trouble speaking to Aaron Sorkin because Aaron Sorkin speaks like Aaron Sorkin. Um, but oh, you want to hear a funny Aaron Sorkin story?
I'd love to.
Okay. This is so ridiculous. I'm on a hike with one of my best girlfriends in LA. She's actually married to Jeff Addis. Talk about TV writers. He just did The Burrows for Upside Down Productions,
Okay.
the show that's about to come out, which everyone should watch. Watch The Burrows. It comes out, oh my God, it comes out in like 2 days. I'm so excited. But anyway, so we're on a hike and we're in Bronson Canyon, which is where we would always go to hike. And I passed this gentleman who looks extremely familiar. Like I know that I know this guy's face. And we get like a few yards, past him. And I look at Ashley and I'm like, oh my God, was that Aaron Sorkin? And she was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, fuck, I think it was. Like, I love him. He's like one of my, I do, I love Aaron Sorkin. And I'm like,
I do
I,
too.
I like, should I go back and like say something? No, I can't. Like, I'm too nervous. Like, oh man, I can't believe I just saw Aaron Sorkin. And like, I didn't realize it until it was too late. Okay. So anyway, that whole thing happens. Like, cut to, months later, like I'm watching some like award ceremony on TV or something. And all of a sudden, I see the gentleman that I saw on the hike, and it wasn't Aaron Sorkin at all. It was Christopher fucking Nolan. So I was just like imagining myself on this hike, like, excuse me, sir, let me mistake you for a lesser known celebrity. Like, it would have been a
I mean,
nightmare for me.
my son would argue with me, but I'd rather meet Aaron Sorkin.
I would rather meet Aaron Sorkin too. It's just that you don't go up to Christopher Nolan and mistake him for
Though, you know what?
Aaron
I'm
Sorkin.
looking at a picture of him right now, and I can see it. I can see it,
There's sort of
particularly
a
if you're like
similarity. Yeah.
jogging, particularly if you're
Yeah.
jogging or he's jogging. You know, if people are in motion and not wearing suits or whatever you're used to seeing people, you know,
But also, like,
I could see
like
it.
who has seen Aaron Sorkin recently anyway? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's not someone that like you see regularly. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's my like Aaron Sorkin, non-Aaron Sorkin
But
story.
my favorite line about Aaron Sorkin to quote, and I'm not gonna attribute it because the guy that wrote it in his newsletter years and years and years ago wound up being one of the really bad actors in comics. But we'll do the line anyway because the line was great. He wrote, I just read the script for the pilot for Studio 60. Man, I want to break that man's, or nearly gave up writing. Man, I want to break that man's hands.
Oh. Well, you know, it's funny. That's like a very, very common story that you hear a lot. Like, just
Yeah,
when I was going to turn my back on all of it.
yeah.
I don't know how
No,
much I
no. I
believe
mean,
that, though. That's
no, no. He wasn't. I mean, it was a joke. I mean, he didn't give up writing. That was how much this writer appreciates Sorkin's writing. Is that like
right.
he reads Sorkin's stuff and he's like, I can't do this.
And you know what's really interesting about that? Like, you totally can.
I
That
agree.
was actually like one of the best things about being staffed on different shows was realizing that like if you just get the tone of the show in your head, like you can kind of parrot anything to great success. And with someone as distinctive as Aaron Sorkin, when I was in graduate school, I my thesis project was a feature. There was just a feature that I wanted to write, but I knew halfway through grad school that I wanted to be in TV. And part of that was because of the newsroom. I loved
Oh
it.
yeah,
I loved it.
I
Like
love the newsroom.
passionate, loved it. I wanted to like live inside of that show. And so when I
I
was
mean, I feel that way about all of Aaron's shows.
I know there's something about that cadence.
His movies
It's
not
like,
quite as much, but I
well,
get.
not all, yeah. The Lucille Ball movie that I was like,
I enjoyed
I
it.
don't know. You did?
I
I
did on the
I
second
was kind of
watch.
horrified by how not funny it was when she was
On
like
the second
literally the
watch,
funniest
I
person.
know, but I think that was part of the point. Is that
Well,
yes,
I don't
she's the
know.
funniest person, but she's also brilliant.
Yeah, but I
So
think that there was a way to
her
get,
job was to be funny on screen and like run the business off screen.
but the casting was also like
Yeah,
crazy.
no, it was weird.
Weird. Like there was so much going on with
Yeah,
that movie that I was just kind of like, this is like it's like off-putting, and I love the
yeah.
Lucille Ball.
No, I'm
But for the most
way
part,
more
like,
way more about his TV. I was just watching Sports Night again.
oh yeah, you know it's funny. I also love Peter Krause, but I haven't seen
Yeah.
that show. I love both of them
Oh, Sports
actually.
Night. I mean, essentially, what Aaron Sorkin does that I love is he takes all of these things and he both demystifies them and puts forward like the most ideal version of them all at the same time.
Yeah, it's like it's beautiful drama, and I think people's
You know,
complaints
whether
that
it's
like
Sports Night or The West Wing or Studio 60 or The
right.
Newsroom, like you're actually getting to learn about how these things work and all of their dirty horribleness. But you also have this example of how we wish they worked.
Right. Right. Yes, no, 100%. And it's very like idealistic, and it's I think people like you and I love about it so much is that it's a very like romantic version of
Yeah.
this thing that we're watching, but also like you're learning at the same time. But
Hmm.
also like I don't know if you felt this way, but like if you like Aaron Sorkin clearly has like a very defined viewpoint on life. And like if you agree with that viewpoint, like you're gonna be like hooraying
Oh
like
yeah.
all the way.
Oh
And
yeah.
so that's he just like speaks
If you
directly to me.
believe that like human beings are relatively equal and deserve certain things like respect and food and health
Truth.
care, truth. Well,
Yes.
that's
No,
to me, that's part
exactly.
of respect. To the need to lie to somebody means you don't respect them enough to think that they can handle the truth, or you know that the truth is so damning that
Right.
y- you don't respect them enough because you made that truth.
I don't know. See, I would venture to say that it's those types of things are way more internal. I think that there's
Yeah.
so much fear involved in lying, and that it oftentimes has
Oh, it
very little
does.
to do with how you feel about the other person, more how you feel about yourself. But again,
Oh, yeah.
so much of what I do as a writer is like deep, deep psychology. And interestingly, like several of the projects that I am now developing in the TV space are all like deeply psychological in a really, really fun way. And what's great about having someone like Sorkin as a mentor is, I think you grow up watching these movies and these television shows, and you think like, how the fuck did he write like that? And then you get to a point in your life where you've put in your like 30,000 hours and you're almost 43 years old and you're like, I am finally smart enough to write smart shit. And it's just awesome. It's awesome. Like, oh wow, I can like write with like juice and nuance. And I'm gonna create a character that you're totally gonna fall in love with, and she's gonna be a sociopath, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. So yeah, thank you, Sorkin, for being like beautifully complicated and also like writing. Holy, I shit you not, because I broke down Newsroom because it was the first spec that I ever wrote of a show was of the Newsroom. And if you ever
Okay.
want to read it, I'll send you my spec.
Please.
Which is it's I don't think it's bad. I think it's actually quite good, even though I wrote it in
No,
grad.
seriously,
But
please.
yeah, I'll send it to you. It's fun. It's like it's an episode in the middle of season one that never existed. I
Okay.
squished it in between two other episodes
All
and
right.
with my own thing. Um, but yeah, his like literally his TV scripts were 90 pages long for each of those episodes,
Yeah.
but in length they were like 60 minutes, and that is not supposed to be possible.
No,
How fast the actors
there,
spoke in that
there
show.
is there. I don't know how apocryphal this is, and I forget which episode it was, but there was an episode of The West Wing that I think weighed in at almost 200 pages.
Yeah.
And they
What
said,
a
you
dick.
have to cut this. You have to cut this. He's like, no, just talk faster.
Yeah. That's exactly what he did. Which is great. And when
Well,
you're
and
Aaron Sorkin,
have
you
you
see
ever
that.
seen His Girl Friday?
No, I have not.
The old Cary Grant movie. See, I watched that recently and like it wasn't bad, but it had a lot of fast talking that didn't work. And I think because they didn't do fast acting, they just did fast talking.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
got to give some real credit to his cast too for not just talking faster, but continuing to emote, continuing to like
Oh yeah. No, you need to be well trained to be a Sorkin actor. And that's also what I loved about Newsroom too. Almost that entire
yeah,
cast. Those were all New York-based actors that were like they're stage actors.
yeah.
And
No.
they
The
handled it
newsroom,
remarkably well.
I mean, no offense to the West Wing. I love the West Wing cast. The newsroom's the best cast he ever had.
They were insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, they really were.
totally insane. But I
Now I
know
might
you're
have
on
to
a clock.
watch that show again because it's so funny.
I will
When I lived in
almost certainly
LA.
fall asleep to it tonight just because you put it in my head.
Well, that's amazing you can fall asleep to it. But, every time
Well,
I'm living in New York, I'm nostalgic for LA and vice versa.
yeah,
But I feel like if I watch the newsroom again,
Olivia,
I'll
I've
be happy.
probably watched every episode of the Newswing or
The
Newsnight
news wing. That's the
or
next one. We gotta
any
pitch it to him.
Any one of his shows, probably the minimum number of times I've watched any given episode is like 20.
Holy shit.
So, I mean,
So
like,
you can quote them.
oh yeah. But but
Wow. Okay.
but so like that's one of the reasons I can fall asleep to them because they just keep running in my head.
Wow.
It
That's
actually
amazing.
calms me. It quiets my brain. Like what keeps me up is rapid thoughts about everything else. So like if I listen to things, particularly things that I know and love, I can fall into them. And sometimes I don't even realize I'm asleep.
That's
Star
amazing.
Wars, Aaron
I
Sorkin.
I need to do that. See, my problem is that like I'm a horror writer. I love thrillers and horror, and all of the movies that I have seen 20 or more times are fucking
Are
horror
not
movies.
nighttime
You
movies.
cannot fall asleep to The Exorcist. So, yeah, I don't think
I
I can do
cannot
that.
watch The Exorcist. So,
It's brilliant. It's
I,
brilliant.
I believe you.
Do you know
I
what that
believe
movie did?
you.
It taught me so much about how to successfully like scare people. And it's very simple. You see Ellen Burstyn's reactions before you see what she's reacting to, and her reactions are so horrific. It's telling you, it tells the audience, this thing you're about to see is disturbing as hell. And then you see it, and it almost doesn't matter what you could be looking at because you have just
Well,
you're
see,
already scared
this
going into it.
this is where have you seen The Haunting with Julie Harris?
I mean, there's so many like the hauntings. Okay, I've seen the haunting of Hill House,
It's the
just
original
the
it's the
original. Okay,
original
I
adaptation of The
think
Haunting of Hill House.
Okay, I think I have, but it was a very long time ago. I watched like every horror movie I could get my hands on
Okay.
by the time
See,
I was in
see,
like fifth grade.
I happen to have her nephew as my English teacher in school, and he did a
Oh,
unit
cool.
that he called Fright versus Horror, or Fear versus Horror.
Okay.
And like we didn't necessarily do any horror because you couldn't play Halloween in school, but we'd watch that movie because he's like horror might make you afraid, but is a lot about just grossing you out. Fear doesn't care if it grosses you out.
Yeah.
It's about sending that tingle down your spine, giving you goosebumps, blah blah blah. The original Haunting, like it does it all with shadows and music and her reactions.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. There's no blood, there's no gore, you know.
Yeah. And it's funny
It's
that you
just
say that because that's
completely
why like
psychological.
I don't really think of Kill Train as being like a horror necessarily. I don't think of it as being scary, but because there's
No,
so much
it's
blood and
much
guts
more
in
of a
it,
fear thing.
it gets well, no, I don't think that Kill Train is scary. I think that Kill Train is it's like it's a really heartfelt journey with a lot of camp.
That's fair.
There's like
I'll
blood and
take that.
guts everywhere. But like
Yeah.
that's like part of the hook. But it's
I mean,
just
I
a
guess
very
as a
human
parent, the
story.
fact that she's trying to get home the whole time,
She's trying to get back to her kid to prove to her kid
right?
she can
That's
fucking do
terrifying to me.
anything. I see. Well, yeah, then well there where James and I want to do the third book too. And if that scared you, then you probably won't like the third
No, see, I don't mind being scared. It's the gross out that I don't like.
one. Okay. All right.
I
Well,
can handle watching The Haunting, but I can't watch Friday the 13th.
interesting. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
There's some I
And
love horror.
the weird thing is really just gratuitous gore because I don't mind the gore in like a Saving Private Ryan or a Last of the Mohicans.
Right. Saving Private Ryan. See, I don't like the realistic stuff. That's why
I
like
can
Train was
I
fine.
can handle
I loved it
realistic gore.
because it was like it was so over the top and like
Which one?
in my book Kill Train, like
Oh,
to me
okay.
like the comp for that it was like,
No, in comics I can totally handle it because among
right
other things,
on the
the second I'm
page.
bothered, I get to turn the page. I don't have to wait for the director to be done showing me whatever they're showing me.
Did you see The Substance by any chance? Speaking of like really gross movies.
No. I
Okay.
don't
Well,
even know
that
that
like
one.
I had to pause it because I was getting physically ill, but I also loved the gratuitous disgustingness of it because it was like it was so over the top in the most horrifying way to like prove a point that you couldn't look away from. And I thought it was kind of brilliant. So to me, it's like it's all about how it's used. But I'm with you. Like I eventually, like I will get sick now. I didn't
Yeah.
used to when I was a kid, but now I'm like I have to pause so that I can
Yeah.
like give myself
And I'm
hours.
getting I finally watched Sinners and I handled the vampire parts better than I expected.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, it's fantastic. But I
Brilliant.
was worried about the vampire parts and I handled them better than I expected. Um,
Well, there you
because
go.
like I just remember like I love the first half of From Dusk Till Dawn and the second half like makes me so queasy that I can't watch the movie.
Oh, yeah. Do you do like this? Sometimes I do this. Like I'm still
No,
watching it, but
that's what I
somehow
do.
this makes it less bad.
That's what I do for exactly one scene in every Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah. Just the squint
Yeah.
somehow makes it more palatable.
Somehow every Indiana Jones, actually, I guess the new one, I don't remember if the new one had one, but the first four had a scene apiece that made me go, okay, is it over yet?
Yeah, I don't know why that's somehow watching through my fingers. That's better than what my mom used to do though. She like I remember watching like Evil Dead and like for every like limb that got chopped off, she like had to like grab the corresponding limb on herself and like scream like as if that was
I
somehow
don't
supposed to help the
scream, but I've
situation.
been known to feel my arm when Ponda Baba's arm gets cut off in the cantina scene at the beginning of Star Wars.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's like, I mean,
Ah,
really,
yeah.
was that necessary? He wasn't even the guy talking.
Yeah, no, because they gotta keep you on your toes,
Have have you
Anything is
have
possible.
you do you watch did you watch Robot Chicken at all?
No, I do not.
Okay. Robot Chicken had a great Star Wars pastiche where the Dr. Evazan character from that scene was exactly the way he was, but Ponda Baba, like you had the translation, and it turned out they were both architects, and Evazan was just being drunk, and Ponda Baba was actually saying, "No, no, we're not criminals, please." Oh, he lost his arm, and the next day he's at work. See, I can draw left-handed. It's like this grand drawing of a house.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, no, I know. I have to like, there's so much great adult animation out there, and I'm just like, I'm not on it.
I
I
am
get
not
sucked
on
in
most of
too
it, but
much.
Robot Chicken, I mean, I'm playing with action figures as I talk to you. How was I not going to watch Robot Chicken?
I've only heard good things about it.
Yeah.
That like BoJack Horseman, like I know people really
I've
love
heard great things
it.
about that, but I haven't watched it because it doesn't involve
There's
action
so
figures. It
much
didn't
stuff out there,
involve,
and even
yeah.
now, like this is gonna sound terrible.
And also so
All of
many
my
comic books, and that's what I do mostly.
Which is like, yeah, I and probably smart and better for your brain. I mean, the one good thing I can say about the fact that the industry is contracting, and I know like all of my TV writer friends are going to hate me for this, but like there's at least there's going to be like less stuff out there to try and keep up with because there's so much noise out there right
Hours in the day. Yeah.
really yeah it's really and I cannot keep up with it and
No, I don't either.
it's hard as like a TV writer because you go into meetings and stuff and you want to be able to talk about everything that's relevant but like I have to most of my evenings are taken up watching whatever my daughter wants to watch because we have like an hour before bed every night where like we watch something together and like the I don't know 6 months I spent
Olivia,
watching all
you're a
of Dawson's
great mom.
Creek is because I spend 1 hour a night with my kid. Thank you. Yes, I will take it. Olivia is
And you let her pick. You don't
she's an
tell her
okay
we're
mom, but
watching
she's a
Aaron Sorkin.
fabulous fucking dad. That's what we're saying here. I do. I let her pick because she picks good stuff. Right now,
Okay.
actually, well, we watched all of Dawson's Creek, but right now we're watching our way through all of the Marvel movies in the order that she chooses, and we
Okay.
just finished the most recent Spider-Man movies. So
Okay.
I don't know what she's gonna do next, but I think I told you when I met you that I had a meeting set up at Marvel.
Yeah, I think so.
So I
Did it
was
go?
very, yes, it was good. Yes, no, it happened. It's lovely. The editor I met with is fantastic. We had a great meeting, and and it was like it
Is
took
the editor
actually.
you met with still there? Because Marvel just had a bloodbath.
She is absolutely still there. Yes, I heard back from her today. Like I
Though
hope this
I
is
mean,
still
Heidi
happening.
McDonald had a good write up and I think her take was decent. It looks like to a certain extent, it's Kevin Feige going, now that fucking Ike Perlmutter is gone, I'm getting my people in charge of comics too, so that we don't have to deal with all of the bullshit that rich MAGA guys had dealt with for because Ike Perlmutter was a real
Really? Yeah, I
douchebag.
don't know about any of the Marvel politics. I am so recent to the big two game.
Yeah.
I really know nothing about them.
So Heidi McDonald, who is one of my most trusted sources in the business, like isn't willing to say that, oh, this is absolutely a good thing, but she's cautiously optimistic. She had a good write up at the Beat today.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, my experience so far has been so limited, but like really fantastic.
I
And
mean, I want it to be good because one of my friends just signed exclusive with them. So like he still can do creator own stuff elsewhere, but he can't do DC stuff for a while, and he's had some success at DC too. So you
Well, I would
know,
love to talk to
you
him
don't
because
want,
I really like DC characters too, and I would
yeah,
love to do a couple of big two books for the street cred. Um,
yeah.
because yeah, it's fun, but also, once you start diving into these characters and like just as like a little sneak, so the character that I would, it's a little bit on the nose that the editor would bring up the one gay Latina in the Marvel universe. But I was so glad that she did because I was kind of nervous about bringing it up because it felt too on the nose to me. But then she did it, so I was like, oh, okay, so it's cool if you're doing it. But that like America Chavez hasn't really landed as far
No,
as like a Marvel
but
character.
she's a really cool character.
She's really cool. She's overpowered. That's one problem. But she's very cool. And she's young and she stands out and like this like dimension hopping, that's so badass. So that was brought to me and I was like, kind of given an opportunity to like see if I could do something cool with her. So I actually sent in my pitch yesterday.
My
Um,
fingers are crossed for
so,
you. I have
so
a
we'll
wood
see.
desk. I'm knocking on it.
That's to prevent something bad from happening.
Well, bad would be they said no to your script.
Okay. Well, it's definitely not a script. It's just a story
It would
pitch.
say
But like,
no, no,
there's
no would be that they are okay. So bad would they say no to your pitch? I'm sorry, I got the words wrong. But I know
but
that you're
yeah,
on a
that was
clock, and I have two closing questions. So how much time do you have?
I should probably head out pretty soon. So ask me your closing
Okay, we
questions.
got to do closing questions then, because they're good ones, and then we're gonna have to talk again because this is too
Yeah,
much fun.
absolutely.
Um, I've been doing this podcast for a little less than 5 years now, and I feel like I've entered the twilight zone. The number of times I get to have conversations or friendships with people that used to be names on pages that like if you told me when I was 15, oh, you're going to be buddies with this guy, or you told me when I was 30 that I was even going to meet that guy, or that this other guy would like my work, or what that I was going to host 4 panels at C2E2. Like I wouldn't have believed you at all. But everybody in this industry has stories where it's like I pinch myself and I go, "Oh my God, I got to do that," or "Oh my God, that happened." So I started collecting them. Tell me a surreal story about your time in the industry.
Um, I mean,
And you can extend to television because I know you're not just comics.
right, but I mean, I would like to tell a comics-based story because this is a
Okay.
comics-based podcast. But like, I mean, obviously, like I worked with Mike Schur, so like getting on a Mike Schur show is like the most surreal thing ever. And every day, like going into work, I was
Yeah,
like,
he's actually
"What's
on a book tour
like
with Joe
happening?"
Posnanski right now.
Yeah, you
I
had
got Joe's
mentioned
email.
that, yeah, they're connected.
Their book just
But
came
like
out. They wrote a
aside
book
from
together.
that and like those, bizarre moments of like driving onto a studio lot and being like, I can't believe I'm allowed to park my car here, let alone work here, is very cool. But there was actually like a moment that just happened a couple weeks ago. I was at the Brooklyn Independent Comic Showcase over at Industry City,
I heard
and
great
it
things about that.
was um yeah, probably from folks who were in the main room. I was not. I came into the event kind of
I don't,
late. I was
I don't know where my friend, Arsa Koryak was there somewhere,
Well,
but I
there's a
don't know.
main room that I think got like a fair amount of traffic. It was also like the weather was really crappy, and I was in like a side room, and I'm realizing I'm like looking around. There's like half the tables, like no one's showing up to set up, and like so like I'm set up in this like somewhat empty room, and I'm like it's not going to be a great show, but whatever. And this chick comes in, like beet red, and comes up to me and is like trembling, holding out a first issue of Kill Train and was like, I'm so sorry to bother you. This is my favorite book, and I'm so nervous right now. Can you sign this for me? And it was like, I made this person's day just by existing and
Hmm.
signing her book. And the fact that she like asked me, like, well, I'm like, of course, like, why else am I here? It was so
Well, and this is what I'm going to say.
awe-inspiring.
If the room hadn't been that empty, she might not have managed to get the courage up to actually get that far. So
Maybe,
it
but
might have
listen,
been part of the surrealness.
honestly,
It's
it made
the
maybe
weather
it's like
and
it
whatnot.
made the entire I maybe made
Yeah.
$200 that weekend, maybe.
No, I get
And
it.
she made the entire thing worth it because it meant so much to her to meet the person who had written this book that she loved. And, just alone the fact that I could write a book that somebody loved and treasured enough to, get like a bag and board for, is that she brought herself is one thing, but then,
I mean, I bag and board all my comics, Olivia.
okay,
That
don't
way I
steal
can.
my fucking thunder, Tad. All right,
Sorry,
Eagleston.
sorry.
Um, it meant a lot to me that she liked my book and that she could meet me and have that be something that was fulfilling to her. And I think a lot of times as creators, like we get so in our own heads about the business and like where's our next paycheck coming from, and we haven't achieved what we thought we wanted to achieve, even though it's honestly effing impossible right now. You forget
Always
that
effing
like you're
impossible.
touching. It's way more impossible now. I
No, no,
just
no, no, no. I meant that as a compliment.
Oh no, no, no. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about me. Like I'm so lucky that I got into the business when I did because no one's getting in now. The doors are
right,
closed for the time being because
right.
the industry has contracted so much that you will have entire shows that are just staffed with showrunners taking pay cuts because there's no work.
Yeah,
And like a lot of writers who are like doing non-union stuff and like shouldn't be, but like we have to stay alive. It's all banana pants right now.
yep.
So yeah, and we get so consumed with like the rat race of it all and like you're only as big as your last credit. Meanwhile, like, there's people out there that just treasure so much these things that you created and you forget how important that is to people and how important you are to like
Yeah.
and hey, maybe it's like just her and like two other people, but I'll take it because
Hey, I'm one of those other
worth
people,
it.
so I'm assuming that there's like three other people.
Cool. I'll take it. Okay, and what's your other question?
My last question that I always ask, and my favorite question to ask. Tell me something you love. Preferably a comic, but we don't really have rules. Preferably storytelling, but again with the rules. But something that you love and not enough people around you have experienced it, and you really need them to, so you have more people to talk about it with.
Okay, yes. Let me just make sure that I'm saying this right because I there's a TV show and okay, yes. All right, I know. Uh Motherland that came out with Vertigo. Do you know that comic?
Think I do.
Okay, it's who wrote it. I talk about this one all the time. I feel like I'm the only person that's still talking about this book, but it is so good. Why does it not say who wrote it like immediately? No, it is not the real life one.
Motherlands with an
Oh, yes,
S.
no, okay, yes, Motherlands. Okay. Cy
Simon
Spurrier?
Spurrier.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that book, when I was like first getting into comic book writing, I met with an editor over at Vertigo, rest in peace. And
Well, it's
I was
back,
like,
but it's not quite the same.
it, it still
Vertigo
exists.
just came back
Oh, did it? Oh my gosh.
this year. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh, that was a long hiatus. Okay.
yeah.
But so it was when it was over at the Warner Brothers lot.
Right.
So I went onto the Warner Brothers lot and I met with this I don't know if he was like an editor, an executive, whatever, and like gave me some of his favorite books and I was like walked into the like DC Vertigo vault.
Mhm.
And it was like this huge room, like wall to wall comics, this like big heavy door. It was like something out of like a movie. Like we went to like Narnia for a second. And he that was one of the books that he picked for me. That was one of his favorites for me to like learn good comic book structure storytelling.
Right.
And it's so phenomenal. I did not understand at that point in time yet because I read Archie comics when I was growing up. That's the only thing that looked like it was for me. All the covers with the TNA and all of that stuff, like, sure, I was like, I didn't know that I was a gay little kid, whatever, but I still knew that that was not for me. Like, that was for dudes, right? So I never read any of it. And then, but there's only so much like suburban high school shenanigans you can read. So I had been away
Right.
from comics since like Archie in like, eighth grade and I was coming back to them and Motherlands it was like this like very like high concept like futuristic like very very visual that made sense to me but by the end of the story I was sobbing. It was such a beautiful gripping emotional story and I'm telling you nothing that I have written would exist if had I not read Motherlands. So everyone needs to read that book. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is like 100% a testament to the power of comic book storytelling and what it can do. And it's a female centric. It's a mother daughter story. It's
I have read a lot of Simon Spurrier, and I have not read that, so it just went on my list.
yes,
Probably
that's
by the time we talk next, it'll have been read because I like his work.
it's great. And yeah, I think
And
you will be thanking me.
and I love Vertigo. That was near the end of Vertigo. I'm trying to remember. That was before after they fired my friend Shelley, which was really the the sign on the wall that they were about to shut down was when they sent Shelley Bond packing.
Oh.
But
Yeah, my buddy over there
he's
was
done
Matt
well
Bierman,
since
and
then.
he was one of the last to go to, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there weren't many after Shelley. Shelley was one of the last men, well, women standing. She calls herself one of the last men standing sometimes, so it gets
It's all good. Like I said, we're all people, man.
Vertigo was, like, it's a shame that you drifted from the comic shops before Vertigo started, because like Vertigo was Shelley
But you're
Bond.
saying now they're back. We just got to find out who's over there.
Well, no, there's good stuff there now. No, I meant as a kid, you talked about drifting away because all of the comics didn't seem like they were for you other than Archie.
Right.
If you had seen Vertigo at that time, because you were a kid about the same time I was a kid, which was when Shelley and Karen Berger and a handful of other people were really completely changing how we looked at comics in general with the stuff that they were doing at Vertigo. So I love it when
Well,
people
it's
pick
never too
Vertigo
late.
books.
Listen, I think everything happened exactly the way that it was supposed to happen. So
Well, no,
I'm
absolutely. I
I'm
just
right
love
where
it
I'm
when
supposed to
people
be.
get to read tons of comics. You still have
Yes,
time to
and
read
I'm
tons of
reading more all
comics.
the time. I do.
Well,
I do. I'm like I told you, I'm gonna live to 150. I have all the time to read all the comics.
like the oldest woman in the world, woman in Mexico, apparently hit 128 last week. So that's 3 years past what was previously considered possible. So who
Right.
knows?
And you're telling me that in the next 50 to 100 years, we're not going to be seeing some progress in that regard? Come on.
I
Come
mean,
on.
But she didn't need the progress. I mean, she's from a small village in Mexico.
I guess we just need we need that drinking water. But hey, whatever works, man. I'll just keep taking my supplements and hope for the best and keep
Olivia,
writing
it
stuff.
is an absolute pleasure. We'll have to do this again. For that
We
matter, we
will.
should read books together. Like you got to read more comic books. I'm always looking for people to read. You ever want to talk about a comic, just like shoot me an email and say, let's talk about this comic. And if I haven't read it, I will.
Sounds
Um,
good.
and hopefully we can get together when you're in town for ALA.
Yeah.
For Olivia Cuartero-Briggs, pick up Kill Train, pick up Jill and the Killers, pick up College Try. We didn't even manage to talk about College Try.
It's all
Uh,
right.
Unfortunately, her other comics are hard to pick up because they're from publisher that doesn't really publish anymore. But
You can still order Mary Shelley Monster Hunter and Silver City. You can get them on like Amazon and stuff.
yeah, I'm
I think.
certain they can be found. They're just
Yes.
harder. Find her at a con. She'll have some at her table.
Easy
That's
enough.
the better way because then she makes the money. And I'm in favor of you making the money. Um, yeah, for 22 panels, this has been Olivia Cuartero Briggs, and we will see you after the next page.